Hey y'all, this is Kayla with Live Oak Nest and I'm so glad you're here. Today I'm back with a Valentines Tablescape. So before I give you a tour of the table, I'd love to share with you some of the heart crafts that I did and used on my table. So this first one here, this is a yarn heart, and these are so simple to make. This yarn here is left over from some yarn Christmas trees that I made. So the first thing you're going to want to do is cut out a little heart from cardboard. So I simply drew a heart on a piece of paper and then traced it onto cardboard and cut out my heart shape. And then you can use a piece of tape to just lay down your first piece of yarn just so it doesn't move around. So you simply just want to start wrapping your yarn around the heart, and you could use some hot glue around the edges if you felt like it needed it, but since these are just going to be displayed in a bowl, I think they're going to be fine. So once you finish that, you're just going to trim off your yarn, and then I didn't even use hot glue, I just tucked it through one of the loops on the back. So there you have it. I think it looks so cute, and I actually did a bigger one as well that I thought turned out pretty. So you can do these any size you want. It's just a fun little craft. So I'm going to go ahead and do one more heart so that you can kind of see it start to finish. Here we go. Alright, so there you have it. I think these are so sweet. So I loved using these in on my little buffet table. The next little heart craft that I want to show you are these wooden hearts. So originally I got these to use as a place setting topper, and I was just going to paint them and put a little bow on them. And then I decided I would just kind of decorate with them, laying them around the table. So I'm just going to put a coat of white chalk paint on. I'm actually using Fusion mineral paint, but you could use any type of chalk paint or acrylic paint, and I'm just going to paint them and then put a little bow on them. Okay, so now that that's finished, I'm going to put a little bow on the top, and this ribbon that I have, it's not very flexible and it doesn't have any wire in it, and so I like to do a bow sometimes like this, to where I use hot glue and different pieces of ribbon to create the bow. So I'm taking one of my pieces of ribbon and I'm going to hot glue it together to make a loop, and I'm going to repeat that to a smaller piece of ribbon because this is going to be the actual part of the top of the bow. So I'm going to do that on a smaller piece, and then I'm going to layer those two together. And I'll actually go ahead and I line them up so that where the ribbon's glued will be on the back part of the bow. And I actually ended up putting a little bit of a dab of hot glue on the inside just to keep the bow shape like this. Alright, and then I'm going to repeat the exact same process on my second little loop. Okay, once I have both of those with a little dab of glue in the middle, I'm going to actually glue these two pieces together. So just lay one on top of the other and secure them down with a little dab of hot glue. And now this piece, I actually just took a piece of ribbon and cut it in half, and then I'm going to use it to wrap around my 2 loops here and just kind of create the centerpiece of the bow. So again, I'm just going to wrap it and use hot glue to secure it on. So I'm trying to like kind of pinch the middle of the ribbon, but it's just pretty stiff, and with those several pieces together it wasn't pinching very well in the middle. So I got it as best I could, and then I'm just going to go ahead and use a little hot glue and then try and secure it so that it's not laying flat. Okay, and once that's finished, I'm going to use my final piece of ribbon here to make my little tail for the bow. So I just line it up, fold it in half, and then trim off the ends to the angle that you like. And then I'm going to hot glue this to the back of the bow. So once I have the bow attached, I'm just going to kind of fluff up the sides so that it doesn't look so flat. And there you have it. There's a simple little bow that you can make. And I think this looks sweet. I think it looks a little bit more like, kind of more like a polished bow than something I would normally do. But I like the look of it, and I think it turned out really cute. And I loved layering these around the table. So this next little heart here, these are some fabric hearts that I made, and I showed y'all how to make these last week. But I wanted to share them again in case you missed that video. I'll add a little card in the top corner so that you can click on it and go back and watch that DIY. So now I'm going to let you sit back and enjoy a little view of my Valentine's Tablescape. hope you've enjoyed these few heart crafts and my Valentine's Tablescape. I'd love it if you'd like this video. Comment down below and let me know what you think. And if you're not subscribed, I'd love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you next week for another fun DIY.